Clobberin time!
Atomic batteries to power. Turbines to speed.
Roger. Ready to move out.
It's Clobberin time! Clobberonimo!
Yeah. Hey, everybody. What is up, my dear friends? Welcome, clobberers and clobberonimos and clobberettes and clobberooskies and clobberoids and whatever else kind of clobber there is out there. We welcome all clobbers around here. We don't discriminate. Well, sure we do, but only a little bit. Hey, hope you're all hearing me well. Let me know if you're hearing me fine out there. If not, I could always use the sound check help. So thank you in advance. Here we are, folks. Clobberin Times, issue number 580 on YouTube, 1,280 overall, and it is Wild Card Wednesday night. Thank you, Jay, for the sound check. Hey, badass. Hey. Sorry. Heartburn. Ugh. Wow. A little attack of heartburn at the wrong time. That's about me. There we go. So, well, what's up, buddies? Good to see you all tonight. What a wow. Just here. Nothing under the agenda, but I do want just some thanking and some shout outing to do, and some show noting to do, and then we'll get right on with nothing in particular. Firstly, of course, I want to thank the great Gary Beekler of Nerdrotic. What an awesome gentleman he is, hanging out with me on this past Monday night Marksy Comics Talk. Just a blast. We talked a little bit of comic shops, probably not as much as we could have, of course. We talked comics. I'm always this way. I don't know how Gary is about it, but I never think I get everything right, or everything I want to talk about, I'm never able to get it all in there. But we certainly took a stab at some comic shop talk, but we went all over the place. And so if you didn't get all the comic shop talk per se that you wanted, I apologize. I meant to do more. I'm hypercritical of myself that way. I know. But anyway, big shout out to the great Gary Beekler of Nerdrotic. This man is a very busy man, and he's up there in the big leagues, and it's tough for him. So I want to thank him for being here, and I want to thank all of you who joined us and listened and watched, because it was truly very sweet of you all to do that. I can't, so many people showed up and watched it, and so many people have watched it on the downloads of and lurked or watched it in like as a download or a rerun. And I cannot thank you enough for that. I'm sorry I wasn't able to talk directly to the chat that night, but Gary is a man of finite time, of course, and I wanted to make sure that you got all you could out of us, talking with each other and focusing on that. But I'm here with you, hanging out with me. I always want to give you my attention as much as I possibly can. It's never easy when you're trying to keep a talking flow going. But the other night I did it that way. No, I was definitely not ignoring any of you. I was watching what you were all saying and appreciating every bit of it. But I wanted to keep focused like that, so I hope you all understand. And Oh, first, I want to say thank you to the great Dr. Herky Monkey, whom we hadn't seen in a long, long time, for becoming a member, our newest member. So, or one of our newest members anyway. So, thank you, Dr. Herky Monkey, for that. But yeah, so I just had to approach it that way. And thank you for the sound checks. I appreciate that, buddies. And also, I want to say thank you to all of my great members who showed up last night for the member stream. It was a lot of fun. It's showing me the error of my ways, not doing it more often. And I will do it more often. I'm going to try to do it every other month now. Have a member stream like that because it was so great hanging out with you all. And so thank you all who showed up for the member stream for that. I really appreciate it. And again, so yeah, big shout out to not only Gary, but everyone who showed up to listen and watch. It is very much appreciated. Whether you lurked, whether you're still just lurking, or you're listening later on a download, it is much appreciated from here. Thank you. And Steven says, Klaus says, no need for the explanation, Clobby. We understand that you have to attend to the guests on your live stream. So, well, thank you so much for understanding that. I do appreciate that. I never, believe me, I know sometimes it seems like anybody who is conducting the live stream is not always attentive to the chat. It's not on purpose, but when you try to keep a line of thought going, and especially when you're talking to a guest with a certain amount of time, it's all about focus. It's never about not appreciating that you great friends are in the chat. Love you all. Wouldn't be here without you. There'll be no point in me being here without you. So appreciate you. And anyway, let me do some show notes. Also, well, first I want to say a big thank you to the great Dad Man Walking who was here. He and his wonderful wife, Mrs. Dadman, and I we finally met in person for the first time tonight. A few hours ago, we got together for dinner. They passed through my neck of the woods. They're on a big trip, a great vacation. And I got to spend some time with those wonderful people, wonderful, wonderful pals, Dadman and Mrs. Dadman. So love you guys. I hope we will see each other again someday. Had a great, great dinner and a great bit of fun at a place I know Pat S. has heard of called Walk-Ons. So that was great stuff. Anyway, and boy, am I full. But it was good. Okay, show notes. I want to say tomorrow night, of course, that clubhouse is in session. They're great. Commander R.M. Briggs, my wonderful first officer. And, of course, the great Mark D. with a C will join me again, as always, on the Thursday night Clobby's Clubhouse. So looking forward to that. And then, let's see, Friday night. Of course, before that, Thursday night, actually, I think I'm going to be on two shows. Tomorrow night, I forgot all about that for a second. WD-40. Just kidding. I don't know. I think he gets teased out about that a lot. So let's see if he. You may be familiar with the channel WDW Pro. I don't have a link to it readily available for me, by the way, folks. But WDW Pro is, of course, a big site, a big page, a big channel. And he's a great dude. I've been on there with him before for a video. I'll be on as a guest with him. I do believe it is it will be 4 p.m. Central, so 5 p.m. Eastern for a couple hours there. Then I'll be on with Tom and the gang on Midnight's Edge After Dark, and then Clobby's Clubhouse. No, not Twin Peaks, buddy, but who knows? Maybe next time. Yeah, Steve says, last night was awesome. So good to hear the voices and perspectives which go with the text in this live chat. Yes, with the text in the chat. I agreed, buddy. Oh, there you go. D-Bud, thank you for that, man. That was quick, dude. As a matter of fact, yeah. Yeah, the Krispy Kreme bread pudding is dangerous. So good. Got to lay off of that stuff. So, and then, of course, this, my great buddy Nicholas's show. Nick, I'll be on the Nick's great channel on his Comic Shop Talk Friday night, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. And then Saturday night Star Trek, of course. Starting off season 7 of Deep Space Nine with my wonderful first officer, Commander R.M. Briggs. So 4 more episodes reviewed on Saturday Night Star Trek. Looking forward to that. Hopefully, there will be, of course, the great Mark D with the C's Sunday Night Geekery at 10 p.m. Eastern. And then back with my buddy J-Man on his channel with 3 more comics reviewed in our ongoing review of him and myself and our good buddy Sean, reviewing the Bronze and Silver Age appearances in chronological order of our beloved Legion of Superheroes. Been having a blast doing that. That's going to be 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern Time on the great J-Man's channel. And then, of course, I'll have the usual Monday night. I'll have my Monday night show. I don't know what it'll be yet, but I'll have that Monday night Mark C. Comics Talk. And I want to ask everyone, if you have not already, please go, and I'll find this link and send it. Go visit Mr. Jason Sandberg's Jupiter, his channel, for his new comic Jupiter on Indiegogo. I urge you all to go give it a chance and go learn about it and consider backing his great project, Jupiter, if you would. And there's a link. Oh, D-Bud beat me to that too. Sorry, D-Bud. Oh, well. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. And let's do some shout-outs. Let's see who's up and heel. Thanks, D-Bud. Dude, you know I'm slow. Of course, we shout out the wrenches. Because we love them. The great Eric K. Now, I don't know if Eric's around or not, but the Bronze Wrencher, we love you, buddy. Hope you're feeling better. Please get well soon. Best wishes out there from the Clobberin Times gang. Clobber on, buddy. The Vindicator Wrench of the North, the great Chris Persia, buddy. Thanks for all you do, my friend. You're the best. You're the best, bud. And, of course, the great D-Bud Martin, the Wrench of Iron. Thank you so much, bro. Hope we get to do it again sometime together. It was great fun streaming with you. LT's here. I think he's still here. Avon lives. Long live the Legion, my great friend LT, Lord Thoth, God of Wrenching, and shout out to the wonderful Lady Thoth. My partner in crime on Earth, B, fellow Legionnaire reviewer extraordinaire, and the wrench without fear, J-Man. Appreciate you, buddy. Master of the Cluboni, artist extraordinaire, Hungry Boy. Yo, had a lot of fun last night. I hope you all had a lot of fun last night. Kal-El, buddy. Supreme, Super Wrench Supreme. Good to see you, brother. Maddie's daddy, Realtor of Rich Mjolnir, Thor in Vegas, and of course, Fanty Outsidey. Don't know if he's here or not, but you get shouted out either way. And of course, the great Max Redstone, our own music meister. All hail to those wonderful friends. Let me see who else is in the chat that I may shout you all out as well. Because that's what we do. It's just a lazy little Wednesday night where it's just me hanging out with you guys. Again, a shout out to the aforementioned Dr. Hercule, a new member of the show. Thank you so much, sir. Gwagnar. Hi, it was good to see you last night, Gwag. Thank you so much for joining us, buddy. Brian Hepburn, what's up, my friend? Captain James J. Skywalker. Good to see you. Let's see here. Always, and again, it's just the coolest name there is, Captain James T. Skywalker. Doesn't get much cooler than that, brother. I love that name. Let's see. Excuse me. J.D. Lewis. What's up, buddy? J.D. Lewis. Good to see you, my friend. Could not be reached for further comment. Hail to you. Big Gore. Hello. Sorry you couldn't get in last night, man. And we were looking for you. What happened, I'm not sure, but it kept showing that you were there, but not. You didn't have your something connected or whatever. So sorry about that, buddy. Bush Pandone. Hello, my friend. I'm glad to see you. The aforementioned great Dadman of the Dadman clan. The aforementioned great Pat S. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. Joe Dog. Well, there, Joe Dog. Good to see you. Thanks for popping in. I don't know if I had seen you before, but if I have, either way, it's great to have you here. Let's see here. Raggle, snarl. Sorry about him scrolling, so I'm trying to find anyone else that I may have missed. And it looks like, at least at the moment, I got everybody. So that's good. I got everybody, I do believe, so far. I hope. Well, I hope and pray that I will. But today I am still just a bill. I don't know what made me think of that. What idiocy made me think of that? What in the hell's wrong with me? I don't know. I'm loopy right now, I guess. I saw a picture that I forgot to save and download. So, what's everybody doing now, man? I tell you what, it was fun talking to you guys last night and hearing all that you have to say. But maybe you have more to say that will. I think I will do. I'm going to start doing it. I'm not sure exactly which Tuesday of every other month, but I will. I'm not going to wait like I did this. Like I kept putting it off. And look, part of the reason was I just didn't know if any of you wanted, any of you cared about, doing a membership. I just didn't think you really want to. I didn't know if you would or not. And so, I stream so much. I don't know. I didn't know if you'd want to or not, kind of. So I wasn't sure. So Wagner says, hey, Donnie Pearson, good to see you, buddy. He says, I'm not a mod, so I can't post a link, but I saw that Tom Connors Jr. has a GoFundMe for his dog, Sadie, that I wanted to make people aware of. Oh, there we go. Thank you. Oh, D-Bud's got it up there. Thank you, D-Bud. GoFundMe for Tom's dogs. Oh, yes. Oh, his poor puppy dog. We love Tom here. Tom is a great guy. Thank you, D-Bud. Let me, I'm going to pin that. Pin message. So there, I've pinned that message for Tom's doggy. Oh man, GoFundMe for Tom's doggy, everybody. Member chat, D-Bud, you said, did I see member chat you posted? No. Let me see. Let me check. Maybe I wasn't looking because I was. Oh, I see it now. Is this one here? Member chat. Abigail, I remember for 3 months. Clobberin level 90s Marvel and Image killed my love for comics. That's very interesting to me. Abigail, because we must be from similar eras. Because I'll tell you what, man, I got a lot to say about 90s Marvel and Image. Wow. So I want to save what you said so I can get back to it in a minute. Let's see, where did I put that one? That's interesting to me. But the chat jumped on me. I lost it. It was a members chat, right? Oh, there we go. Okay. I'm going to start that. So I want to address that a little bit in a minute when I can. Abigail, because that is interesting to me. Thank you, D-Bud, for that, by the way. Because I want to talk, obviously, that is something I don't talk about much. And I haven't talked about much here, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But just want to make sure I got my ducks in a row. Okay. But first, okay, everybody. Yes, our great friend Tom Connors of Midnight Edge After Dark, running into all kind of crazy problems. And he's got his problem with his puppy dog. I heard him talking about it last night. But I don't know all the details. But there's a GoFundMe for it right there that could tell you the details, I guess. Okay, so, but I admit that even though he was talking about it a bit last night, I don't think he mentioned all the details of what's going on. I mean, the dog's sick. He's got some problems with it, and let's all try to help anyone. Whatever you can do, if you can't help, fine. If you can't, I know Tom understands, but he appreciates any help he can get, of course. And so. There's that. And let's see. Let's talk about some things we've been reading lately and stuff. Let me go for Abigor's what he said here in this members chat. Interesting. He says again, like I said, he says 90s Marvel and Image killed my love for comics. Wow. We must be close to the same age, friend. I don't know if we are, but man, because I used to have a saying in the 90s. Now, again, many of our dear friends who stream that I've gotten to know over the past couple of years, whether well or just people I know from just simply what I mean, not I say quote unquote no, people I've seen streaming about comics. Any of the ones that were considerable like 5 to 6 or to 10 years younger than me, which are a lot of them, obviously have different life and geek experiences, which is understandable. And it's funny because comics are so bad now. I hear a lot of these guys reminiscing fondly for comics in the 90s that I thought were total pig swill. Pop Culture Republic, good to see you. And again, a lot of this is, no question about it, it is about age, and again, like quote life or geek experience. I absolutely understand that. Something that you read or enjoyed at a certain age, maybe not so many people, maybe other people really didn't get into. They didn't mean the same to other people. By the time the 90s were rolling around, and that's my buddy J-Man. He loved the 90s. I had a word for him. I called him the vile 90s. But like you say, Abigor, this is Shakespeare compared to the crap today. Absolutely. Rose-colored glasses and all that stuff. But it's not just rose-colored glasses. The proof is in the pudding. It's really horrible right now. The Screw 52 is what chased me for a while. But I'll tell you this, in the early 90s, I was getting aggravated with the big two. I started when the 90s started. I was turning I was getting into the latter half of my 20s, and Marvel and DC were producing a lot of schlock. They had already, Alan Moore and Frank Miller had already poisoned the river a little bit, doing some really good work, but darkening comics to the point where it got a little sickening in some ways. And their mainstream stuff was becoming very pedestrian and very hacky. And don't worry, I'm starring comments. I'm going to address a lot of these. I promise. They were getting really hacky, in my opinion. And by the time 1990, 91 rolled around, it's not that I didn't love superheroes. I did. For example, I cannot stand and still cannot stand Rob Liefeld, Jim Lee, Mark Silvestri, who's a nice guy. I met him. He's a cool dude. I just did not like that ridiculous. I don't like their art style. Never did. And Pop Culture makes a pretty interesting statement there, which is getting close to my point here. At some point around 1990, 91, 90, up in there, it was a couple of years after I'd lost my comic shop, but I was doing other work and then helping another friend run his comic shop before I worked for him for a while. I was down to buying Almost no mainstream stuff. I'll tell you, one of the few DC books I bought was Morrison's Animal Man, which I loved. 26 issues of weird excellence. But at that time, I was not buying too many of the hardly any mainstream stuff anymore. They'd ruined my Legion. The other titles that I had been buying, Marvel or DC, just got kind of passe with some crappy art. I really didn't like what was going on in any of them. I was bored. It was not my Superman anymore. Wasn't even reading Batman titles much at all. It was not interesting me anymore. I was 26, 27, 28 years old. I wasn't really interested. I love this. I think there's something wrong with me. Do I not love these superheroes anymore? But I realized I did love those superheroes. I just didn't really like the way they were being handled. And then they did garbage like Xerox Hour, which freaking destroyed Hal Jordan. And I was just kind of bored with it. And then Jim Shooter, of all people, starts Valiant Comics and started, bringing back some of the, or starting out some of the, of those old Gold Key characters, and Dr. Solar, although it was Solar, Magnus Robot Fighter and such. And, then he had other series, Harbinger and Exo and, a couple of the other ones, Archer and Armstrong and Eternal Warrior and whatnot. And I started really getting into the Valiant books. The Valiant books of the early 90s, I just went nuts for those. And they were still in the superhero fantasy genre, but they were a more fresh take. And not just because it wasn't just Jim Shooter. It was also, people like Bob Layton and Barry Windsor Smith and a few other very talented people really making for a while there, in my opinion, the best genre type, superhero adventure stuff on the racks by far. Way better. Image was just mindless garbaggio to me with big, ridiculously over proportioned, muscle bound monstrosity characters, asinine people that I could not give a shite about character wise. And before they did Image, they were that was what their Marvel stuff was like. And then when they moved over to Image and started doing their Image drivel, I'm sorry, I never could stand Spawn. I never could stand any of the left fielder Jim Lee drivel of the Image stuff. It was like made my eyes bleed. And I just couldn't stand any of it. That's just me. But for about 2 or 3 years there, Valiant had a run that was extraordinary. I loved them. I mean, eventually started to peter out after a couple of years, I would say. But that's just me. A lot of people loved it. The only use I had for Image was when Alan Moore would go do something for him. I just didn't like oh yeah, I loved Exo Man of War. I just did not like anything coming out of Image except for 1963 by Alan Moore, of course. Occasionally when Alan Moore would be given something like Alan Moore, I never thought he could make me care about Wildcats, but he did when I didn't care about it before. Of course, Alan Moore Supreme was one of the greatest things ever done in the 90s. So in the 90s, my favorite comics, none of them were Marvel or DC until later when you did stuff like Kingdom Come or whatever, which I loved. But for the most part, it was my favorite comics of the 90s were, of course, Valiant. And when Alan Moore would do stuff for Image or Alan Moore's ABC comics, Barry Windsor Smith Storyteller, like I say, anything that was not really in the mainstream, Xerox Hour and that silly, idiotic Death of Superman gimmick crap and Nightfall, all that shit. Who many of my dear friends look back. I have many dear friends that are a few years younger than me. I hear them talk now on these. I hear so many of them. It's hilarious to me. They'll talk fondly of these comics that I despised at the time. Now, again, I'm a little softer on them now because of how bad comics are. But to me, they were drivel. Just me. Hey, we were different ages. I would look at that stuff and go, ugh. So it was definitely a barren time in terms of mainstream comics in the 90s for me. Just for me. Remember, I'm old. Yeah, I got to remember that. So I look back at that stuff now, and maybe I'm a little softer on it now if I went back to look at it, or maybe I don't understand how good we had it. I don't know. But I didn't like any of that. A lot of that crap. Just didn't. And DC, I didn't touch it after Xerox Hour, and then a couple other things. I must have went a good decade or more without even touching the DC. In fact, I would not buy DC comics on a regular basis until, and look, I know Jeff Johns has done a lot of stuff to piss me off. Jeff Johns, when he fixed Hal Jordan, repaired the damage with with Green Lantern Rebirth, or whatever it was called, and he fixed all the damage done by the horrible garbage Xerox Hour horse shit. I hate Kyle Rayner, by the way. You'll never convince me otherwise. When he fixed it and brought Hal Jordan back, I started reading DC Comics again. There were some okay ones and there were some not good ones. There was some good stuff. But for a number of years there, I could buy DC Comics regularly and thought there were some good ones in the 2000s. But for me, the Image site was just ugh. But again, that's just me speaking from my experience with the 90s. And so what I want to do now is I've starred a bunch of your comments, just anything. And if I missed any, I apologize. Let me just look at some of yours, what you're saying about it. Like Wild Card Wednesday's a wild card. Anything can happen. And tonight, one of you brought up 90s comics, and I went off on it. And my boy J-Man talks 90s comics a lot on his channel, by the way. If you have not before, J-Man put the link in your chat. In the chat. Please subscribe to his channel. He has a night where he and Sean sometimes talk about 90s comics. Abigor said, never thought I would end up hating Marvel. Disney murdered it, but mid-90s Marvel ruining my trifecta of Punisher, Ghost Rider, and Wolverine with terrible character change, too radical. Interesting. Absolutely. I never was a big fan of any of those characters too much, but I've heard what you're saying before. They were ruining enough of my characters to where I can relate to you, sir. Bob Culture Republic said, I was going to get tired of 90s Marvel in some image. Valiant was a bright spot for me up to a point. Same here. For a few solid years, I loved Unity. For a few solid years there, Valiant was really good. Let's see. Gwag says the 90s were the Iron Pirate era of comics. People thought they would be worth a lot of money, but it turned out not so much. With all the 90s was the gimmick era. The 90s brought us the gimmick. The freaking, oh my, there was so many asinine gimmicks. Stamped, foiled, embossed, variant-y. I mean, the 80s started with the crossover crap, but the 90s went into overdrive with it and all the other gimmicks. And, man. It's just like the Star Wars prequels, says Kal-El. Many who hated them when they were initially released aren't so hard on them now because of the Disney sequel filth. I know you said sequel trilogy, but it's when you say Disney, the word filth has to come in there very quickly after that, brother. Joe Dog says, I got the Defenders 29 today. One of my favorite Marvel team-ups. Oh, love the Defenders, man. That's very cool. You collecting those? Are you collecting those back up? Are you? Cool stuff, buddy. Love it. Abigar says, Wagner agreed. All of the variants and reprints, deluge of X-Men #1. Oh my God, yes, Jim Lee X-Men. Ugh. I know people love it. But all the X titles, Marvel had peaked. They were really. I was never the biggest X-Men guy anyway, like my buddy J-Man is, but I liked them fine. But they really overdid it with the X-Men. J-Man says, I love Golden, Silver, Bronze too. I think maybe Bronze would be the winner in terms of all of it, but The 90s were fun and got me into serious collecting. Well, it's a fair cup. It's a fair cup, but the salty is to blame. I agree. We'll be charging them too. I hear you there, Jay. Popcorn says, I enjoyed Valiant over Marvel and Image up to the point where they changed around 94. So, yeah, for a couple of years, I think they were really good, really solid, and then kind of started putting up some other titles. But their best titles, of course, for me was Solar Man of the Atom, Magnus. Actually, Harbinger was great for a while. Exo Man of War was great. Those were two of the best. Archer and Armstrong, especially the Barry Windsor-Smith issues. Eternal Warrior never really had good art because it was Don Perlin. Sorry, but man, the stories were pretty good. I really liked Eternal Warrior. Let's see. Wag says the spectacular boom was so many comics to be published that shouldn't have been. Well, that's for sure. That's always the case, I guess. Now, and don't get me started on the nonsense of zero half issues. Oh God, yeah, I hated the zero or the half issues crap gimmick. Ugh. Oh man, Jim Lee was my second favorite artist, says Abigar. Arthur Adams #1. Well, I got a lot of my friends who love Arthur and Jim. I'm not big on. I mean, I like Arthur Adams a little bit. I just never did like Jim Lee, but you're not you were in the majority there. A lot of people really do like him, and I did like Left Field's. Left Field. It's a habit. I call him Left Field. Lee Fields, because they pushed the envelope for detail, but their arrogance changed the industry for the worst. Yeah, that's a good point. I think it did. I absolutely think that Image was well, I think they made some mistakes on the direct market. The thing is, they can't be really blamed for how bad Marvel and DC the companies were, though. They were good. They were good for creators' rights. I got to say that. So I'm not so sure if I'm willing to agree that they changed the industry for the worst, because they were about creators' rights. I'd have to think about that statement that you make there. However, I do take your point, and it is interesting because it makes me think. It makes me wonder. I've never really considered them, but considering all the crap Marvel had done and DC has done, at least these guys were about creators' rights. So I would have to think about that, Abigar. To be honest, I want to be introspective on that statement, because I have problems with these guys. Their arrogance annoyed me. Although they were all also nice. Let me play devil's advocate against myself. When I met Left Field a couple times, he was nice to me. Probably just because I was wearing a shirt that was making fun of DC Comics, airbrushed by the great Minimus. But those guys, Jim Lee, Mark Silvestri, Left Field, who else? Valentino and some of the other ones who's I can't stand Eric Larson, but he was one of them. They were all very good to Jack Kirby. They all treated Jack Kirby with respect and helped him out. They helped Jack, so for that I always have to give them credit. Nevertheless, I take your point, sir. It is interesting. I would have to think of whether, before I give just an off the cuff answer, as I was almost doing there, I would have to pull back and think about it. I don't know if I agree with that statement, but we won't have to argue about it or anything. But look, they're a couple of jackasses. They've acted like jackasses before. I'm with you there. So, but thank you for that, though. I can't stand Eric Larson. Admittedly, just because he's such an ass to people politically. He can have his political opinions all I want, but he's really nasty about it. If you have different opinions from me on anything, and you're cool about it, you agree to disagree, or live and let live about it. That's all I ever require. He's not. He's an absolute shithead for it. Wagner says, agreed. The spectator market, I think, speculator market crashed shortly after I got out of collecting books. Well, I hear you there. Absolutely. And Abigail also says, McFarlane Spawn is the only thing from Image, excuse me, I'm an idiot. I'm going too fast, to have broke ground. He's an incredible artist. I'm not a big fan of his either, I must admit, but again, I'm in the minority, because again, Abigail, a lot of people love McFarlane. I've got my issues with him. Exo Man of War, right? I believe you. I love. If you were talking to me, I love Exo Man of War. Loved it. Oh man, those early issues were incredible. Fanty says, Clobberin Times also forget Leaffield gave us pouches. Was it pouches? So many pouches with their own smaller. Dude, what is pouches? Is it? What's your problem, boy? Pop Culture Republic says, 90s comics. Let's hear it for 3D foil hologram embossed chromium cover. Yeah. Yeah. Yawn indeed, sir. Oh, God, that was an annoying shite. Abigail also says, oh my God, the death of Superman was so terrible. I liked the idea of Nightfall. But both of those runs were desperate gimmicks meant to replace Clark and Bruce. Yeah, and the thing is, I hated Nightfall because nobody breaks Batman's back. Screw that noise. I know it was childish reason, but hey, I was a young child in my late 20s. J-Ben says, at least the Image Boys actually respected the creators of the past like Kirby. Yes. Oh, yeah, you're right. Absolutely. They did. Absolutely they did. And they use lots of manga-style big gun swords. Current writers have zero respect for those who came before. A brilliantly made point, my dear friend J-Man. Thank you. Pap Coulter said, I was running a comic store when Death of Superman came out. I was helping a friend run one as well at that point. It was crazy to have people lined up at my cash register. I remember that night, lined up around the block where we were, going out of the door and around the block. Yep. I need to look at my sentences before I read. Didn't really care for it too much myself. I hate it. And I bought a copy at my friend's shop and tore it up in front of a bunch of people just to make them, for the fun of it. My friend laughed, by the way. LT D. Martin, do we remember Clobby's old? Yes, he's old. JD Lewis says, when I was a kid in the 70s, I thought 70s Marvel was the best. But when I was older, I met an older guy who thought 70s Marvel was garbage. I think that's wonderful. And what's awful is all timing. It's a fair cop, but society is to blame, sir. Yeah, I don't just like saying that. Clearly. Let's see. All right, Jay, man, brother. Take it easy, buddy. Can't wait to hang out with you again tomorrow night. By the way, going to be on J-Man's channel talking some more Legion. Having so much fun counting down, listen to me, chronicling the Legion of Superheroes appearances in order throughout the Silver and Bronze Age. Going to take us some time, buddy, but it's worth it. Let's see if I missed anything. Abigail says, hard to elaborate in only 200 characters, but I appreciate their respect towards creators, but their disdain for their fans who love them at Marvel, myself included, is what I meant by arrogance. That is a very fair statement, Abigail, and I appreciate you elaborating on that. I understand, and I concur. I guess the reason why I didn't really think about that at first is because I was never a fan of those guys at the time. I just looked at their stuff and went, I can't. I just don't like. I don't think any of those guys. All right, let me do it. Let me be fair. Jim Valentino is a pretty good. I mean, he's not a great artist, but he was a good storyteller, a decent cartoonist. He actually really was pretty talented. Mark Silvestri draws big, gigantic blocks and pictures and stuff, and people like it because they were big, muscly guys. Again, nothing against him. I drove him to a convention once. I picked him up for a con in New Orleans and from the airport to drive him in. Super nice guy. His art, I mean, it's good. I can't draw a damn stick, so it's good. It's just his style just never. It was just like big, overblown and muscly. I mean, just not my bag. Nothing against it. Jim Lee, same deal. Everybody looks the same. Jim Lee, and he proved this later, not just with his X-Men stuff. When he draws Batman and Superman, they look like they're interchangeable. Their costumes, they look the same. And everybody he draws looks the same. Everybody's got ridiculous muscles. Just not into Jim Lee that much. Obviously he's good. The guy and I, fun fact, weird fact, we were born the same exact day. And he helped treat the Kirbys and some other people very well. So kudos. And he's a nice guy. Only met him one time. Nice guy. Just saying. So I don't think he's much of a storyteller personally as an artist. Because I when I think of an artist, unless it's a Hal Foster or Alex Raymond or some of these guys who made their living, in comic strips and they weren't really so much sequential art. There were comic strip type or something like that. If you drew comic books, I think you needed to be a good sequential artist. Even if your pictures were pretty, were you a good storyteller? Some guys' pictures aren't nearly as pretty as some other artists, but they're good at moving off of a page, and moving pages is moving a story. Some guys and those are the guys I think they study, the cartoonists like the Kuberts and people like that. I don't think, so there's some guys just do wonderful, beautiful work for sure. And there's a place for it. But I just don't think, unless you're somebody like a Bernie Wrightson, who doesn't need to be that much of a cartoonist, who could just just blow you away with gigantic pages of brilliance like that, it's fine. And it comes off like an illustrated story in a sense. Oh my goodness. I don't know if I'm familiar with you, but I thank you for being here, Scott Knudsen, and I thank you for the very generous super chat, my friend. I appreciate that. Scott Knudsen says, excuse me. Let's see here. Thank you, Scott. Scott says, 40 years from now, no one is going to be talking about any current books the way we do about Dark Phoenix or Miller's Daredevil. No movie studio in 2055 is saying, we got the rights to the Hellfire Gala. Good writing lasts. That is a brilliant point. Again, I thank you for that. I'm glad you were here, and I cannot thank you enough. You were too kind, my friend, for that, and that is an extraordinary point. Absolutely. People will always talk about Watchmen. They will always talk about Miller, even Miller's Dark Knight, which I have some issues with here and there. But still, they will talk about Miller's Born Again. They will talk about even books even if it's a comic I don't really like that is acknowledged. For example, they'll talk about Gaiman's Sandman forever. They'll talk about a lot of Alan Moore's work. They'll talk about Miller, just like you said. They'll talk about Kirby's art and stories and creations until the end of the universe. They will have to wipe out the entire universe, and they still probably won't wipe out all elements of Jack Kirby. If you annihilated the Earth right now, completely atomized it, there'll be some galaxy across in some other universe. Jack Kirby art will get out there. Jack Kirby creation will get out there. But this garbage of the, like you say, the Hellfire Gala, the current issues of anything current today, nobody will give two shites about. That is actually absolutely a very well-made point, Scott, and something that should be talked about. Even some of these comics of the 90s that some of you like and I don't, or vice versa, they'll be talked about longer than this crap. Pro or con. Like, again, these Valiant comics, I know Valiant's making comics now, but you notice when people talk about Valiant, 9 times out of 10, unless you're maybe 12, but if you're in your 30s even, or maybe not your 30s, like in your 40s, when Valiant comes up, people always talk about those early 90s Valiants. I mean, it still exists. I know they still make it for some reason. But most people go, yeah, the old Solar, or the older Magnus Robot Fighters, or Exo. And they don't mean either the Gold Key or they made the Valiant. I mean, I don't even know what the hell Valiant's doing right now. I know it's a company, by the way, that's hemorrhaging money, like all companies, like all so-called comic book companies. But Scott makes just a fantastic point. I mean, they're going to talk about the classics forever. They're going to talk about Kirby's This Man, This Monster from Fantastic Four number 51 forever, and the coming of Galactus, and the Kree Skrull War. As my buddy Fanti likes to say, they're going to talk about Avengers Defenders War forever, or the Michael Korvac saga. They're going to talk about the Great Darkness saga, the Judas Contract, even the death of Superman, and even Nightfall. They'll talk about those things. even the crappy Clone Saga for that matter, or even things that are infamous, like the stupid brand new, One New Day or Brand New Day, or whatever the hell it is now. I always forget. I always get it confused. Even crap like that, they will talk about more than they will talk about any shite coming out right now. Even if it's not popular, even if people don't like it, which not too many. I've never met anyone that likes. What is it? Brand New Day, One New Day. Well, I always get them confused. Whatever. But you name it. Even if something that's like the stupid Clone Saga that's not popular, One more day. Thank you, Ray. And hello, Ray. Good to see you. Welcome. Ray Durazo. Hello there. So they're going to even the popular things that are not well liked that are popular, that were popular during a time when people were freaking reading comics, they'll talk about more than any of this shit today. No one's going to look back in 20 years and say, "Hey, remember that time they turned they turned no, I can't even say it, can I? Timmy Drake, and when they messed around with his life to make headlines. Remember when Timmy Drake was how it goes right now? I think Valiant is publishing one book a month. Really? That's one more book than that I know about because I never even. Of course, to be fair, I don't look at any modern crap, so I'm a bad judge there. Hunger HB says, okay, Clobby, crunch time. What's worse, lazy Jim Lee image 90s imitators or Byrne inking himself? Wow. I'm going to say Byrne inking himself. That should probably be like a hate crime or something. I don't even believe in hate crimes legislation, but in this case, I'll make an exception. John Byrne being allowed to ink himself in the 90s. Let's be specific about it. In the 90s, although it started in the 80s. It should be illegal. Like here he goes. Let's say in the 90s, John Byrne was about to sit down to ink a comic of his own. The cops would bust in and they would bring, sorry, Steve, Joe Sinnott or Terry Austin, preferably Terry Austin, unless it's the FF. But yeah, should have been illegal. John Byrne should never have inked himself. I'm sorry. But hell, I'll take a John Byrne crappy inked comic any day over this modern drivel. X-Men. The Next Men. Yeah, I didn't buy Next Men too much, suffice it to say there, Hungry. I bought me some Byrne comics in my time, but I didn't buy those. Yes, Ray, what they did to Jonathan Kent as well. John Kent, yeah. People, I mean, if they look back at it at all, they'll go, really? Did they do that? Yeah, no one cares. No one cares about this crap anymore. No one cares about comics anymore. Again, when I was talking to Gary the other night, we were talking about how, whether you liked the comic back then in the Bronze or Silver Age or whatever, and you didn't, there was something to be talked about there. It actually meant something. We were talking about how, I'll give you an example. Last week on my good buddy Nicholas's show on Friday night, for everyone subscribed to Nick's channel, we were reviewing the X-Men Teen Titans crossover from 1982 with Nick and the boys, the comic shop boys, and myself. I, of course, sold that thing off the rack, ordered it and everything. I remember back when it came out at a comic shop. I was running for someone. I didn't own that shop, but I was running for someone. And I hadn't read it in 40 years, I guess. I don't know, something like that. So before we reviewed it the other day, naturally, I went back and reread it. And I enjoyed it even more than I did last time. I think, again, of course, lovely art by the great Walt Simonson. Great inking job by Terry Austin. Beautiful to look at. Sure, it's the X-Men and Teen Titans, so you would kind of wish it was either by Byrne or Perez or by both. Maybe they could have teamed up and drew each other's characters. But still, Walt Simonson at the time, who I liked at the time, he wasn't really the biggest name, but we knew who he was. Yes, Astro City was the 90s. I'm about to get to that. Thank you, Bush. Princess Fiona, I love you. Good to see you, my dear. But there's a bit in I'm rereading that X-Men Titans, right? And as I said, this book was heavily controlled by Jim Shooter to not be too controversial. He kind of put the reins on Chris Claremont to keep him held down a bit, to keep him in check a little bit. And there's actually a scene that, oh crap, there's a scene where Deathstroke the Terminator is thinking to himself. This was in the days where thought balloons were used as exposition, as an editorial, decision. Of course, it was always editorial back then. That's just what comic books did. That, right? That's what a thought balloon was for. Exposition. Because we all run around thinking everything to ourselves just like that, right? Like a thought balloon in a comic book. So, what's his face? Deathstroke is thinking to himself, this is while the X-Men and the Teen Titans are fighting a bunch of these parademons. And he thinks to himself something like, gee, something like these kids can fight, these X-Men can really fight or whatever. Basically, I can't remember the exact quote, but he thinks to himself along the lines of, wow, these X-Men can really fight, but I'll wager that they held back and didn't kill any of those parademons. Basically, what Jim Shooter was trying to tell us is it was a ferocious fight, but no parademons were killed in this fictional fight. These fictional parademons were not killed by the X-Men. Just like, because Wolverine was slashing all over the place, and he used to make, Jim Shooter once said in that classic comic Wolverine Alone, where he went and slashed up all those Hellfire guards, he said those guys really didn't get killed. They all injured, and Professor X pays their medical bills. He didn't have an excuse with parademons. So I guarantee Chris Claremont did not think of a thought balloon saying, yeah, these guys are going to be okay, these parademons. So it was Jim Shooter that probably made him put that in there. Because again, this comic book was kind of for a more general audience that hadn't, I don't know. That's Jim Shooter in a nutshell right there. And that's because he was kind of holding back. Maddie said the problem is all the creators and writers who loved comics for what they were are gone. They're dead or retired, and the people who have control over the characters now think that they own them. Yes, they do. They do indeed. Yes, Bush Pan down. That's true. Videos, games sure didn't help comics. Pop Culture Republic says one of the things that I remember from the 90s that annoyed me was having a book come out for cover price, and by the weekend I could find it at a comic book show for 3 or 4 times cover. Yes, I had them. There were guys who even put them on the stands for ridiculous price. And you know what? You make a good point, Bush Pan Down. One of my favorite comics ever made was in the 90s, and that's Astro City. Joe Dog says, I loved when Rom Space Knight joined the X-Men. Well, you know something? They're doing a Rom omnibus. We talked about that last night. I can't believe it. All right, Chris Persia. Have a good night, buddy. I hope you feel better. Thank you, man. You take care. Good night to the great vindicator and chef of the North, Chris Persia. And speaking of Astro City, I've just thought, I was doing all kind of random stuff with Astro City. at first, and then I've decided just to go back and start at the beginning. And just take my time and read them all over again because it's been a while since I've gone back and done it that way, read them from the beginning. Bush, I tell you what, I might have to get that omnibus. Looks good. Romnibus indeed. Pop Culture says, just started Esther City, looks cool so far. Only a few issues in. Wow, there you go. Well, I've started back at the beginning, which of course means the first miniseries from 1995, and I'm just so get so immersed in it already. Again, what a great comic. I mean, I love it. It's is there a Micronauts omnibus? Not yet, Brian. They have not done one. But if they're doing ROM, who knows? Perhaps Micronauts one won't be far behind. I predict now that there's going to be a ROM one, there'll be a Micronauts one day. There's a Micronauts artist edition, but that's not the same. So there could be definitely an omnibus in the future for the Micronauts. They're going to have a series of ROM omnibus. So here I'm just really great. It's great. This, of course, was the first mini series right here. Fiona says, the art should tell 80% of the story, even if there were no narration or dialogue. Otherwise, they're doing it wrong. Yeah, well, yeah. That's why you do need a good cartoonist and a good storyteller. None of these guys study cartooning anymore. What are you saying now? What are you prattling on about, Fanty? Wait, how could you not read an individual book from the beginning? What did you do? Turn to random internal... No, I was just, I went and read some of the specials at random, Fanty. Because they had some specials here and there that I just kind of threw it. But no, then I decided, because look, our wonderful first officer, Raquel, we tease her about it. She watches all of Trek every year, all 735 episodes over the course of the year, all the series in order. And she told me a long time ago, she doesn't just pop any old random episode out in or whatever, which I do all the time. I get in a Trek mood, I just throw an episode up and fine. I don't need to go in order. But that's the way she does it. I know you're kidding, Fanny. I know. But my point is, I can do that, but I've decided with Astro City, let me go back and do the deep dive. I know you're kidding. Dude, you never have to tell me it's a joke, Fanty. I have a sense of humor, brother. But it just made me want to speak to a larger point about that. No, you're good. You're not. I'm not going to put you. Okay, well, you have been bad, so I may have to ask for your agonizer.
Your agonizer, please.
There you go. No, you're good, brother. So I've decided to go back to the beginning. Which is convenient, really, because I have a really crappy memory. Because even though I've read these a long time ago, like number of times, it's fun to be able to go back. Where's the Shogun Warriors omnibus? Herb Trimpe says, Guagnar. I'd take it. I bought Shogun Warriors when I didn't. I bought that comic when I didn't even know it was a toy, just like with ROM. I didn't know it was a toy at first. And of course, I could never get a Shogun Warrior, but at least I had the comic book. How about a Godzilla omnibus by Trimpe? What do you think of that, Mr. Guagnar? So here we go. I knocked these out last week. And this first miniseries is just it's the king. It is the top of them all. I mean, it can't really be touched. One can try, though. Cannot one. And I just dearly love it. Oh, What am I looking for? Galores. I was making making pictures of making pictures. All right. Sorry, but I was having a bit of a bloody. All right. Oh man, I was having some technical issues. I'm so sorry. So sorry about that. There we go. Okay. Princess Fiona says, worked 20 hours straight, but needed a dose of clubbing love and positivity before passing out. Well, I hope I don't cause you to pass out. But if I do, I hope it's a good passing out because you need the rest. I do understand that, Fiona, but you are too kind to say that. We love having you here. We love having everyone here tonight. That's what, yeah, JD, I do the same thing. Random TOS episodes. I mean, that's the best. I'll sit there and do the eeny, meeny, miny type deal with I'll flip on because I'm too lazy to pick out my disc set. So sometimes I'll just flip on that sucker. You know, the the whatever streaming service it's on. I won't mention the name or anything. And then boom, just I'll have what was it? Just go random with it and stop. Any, meeny, miny, and then hi Bo. So anyway. Yeah, I didn't want to say it, Ray, but I do have that. I'm not proud of it. So anyway, so after this, I went to Astro City 1/2. I remember when this came out, it was the start off of the regular Astro City regular series, which was going to be an ongoing series. And they had the one on the left here is the only cover of Astro City ever not painted by Alex Ross. This was by, of course, the interior artist of the book, Brent Anderson, whom I love his work. Nevertheless, it was different. And this is the comic book that made me cry, folks. They later did this other cover, but this was you had to order. You had this for the one on the left before. You couldn't buy this in comic shops at first. You had to send off to Wizard to get this freaking issue. The one on the left, the cover was on the left, and this is that was the first cover for like I forgot how much it was, $10-$12. I don't remember exactly what it was, but a buddy of mine couldn't send off for it in time, so he ended up having to pay like $20 for it. And this, of course, preceded the series. I hate when they do half issues. I know I hate it. I hate it too, Gwagnar. Donnie Pearson, what's up, buddy? So this is the one right here. This comic. Raising Astro City or Aurak. I don't know which one I should place first. Hungry boy, I can't even recall. So this is the one that made me cry. It's beautiful. It's brilliant. And going back to it, just, oh, man, it was shocker. So anyway, and so now I've started on the regular series. This is the first 6 of those. I'll take it I'm going to try to take it as slow as I can. Yes. Oleg doesn't explain anything. He just says, get on with it. only Avon gets to do this because, Avon's the only one he respects. Avon's the only one who respects. Now, Fiona, am I to take it that you know you're Blake 7? Because I'm just more than all of you every day. If that's the case. I mean, all of you anyway, even if you don't. But I mean, wow. Mark D. with the C was a man. He was a big man. With an eye like an eagle and as tall as a mountain was he. And I don't want anyone to get the wrong idea when I say the word was. Right? He still is, probably, as far as we know. Far as we know. Ray asks, how many comics do you have in total in your collection? I don't have the gigantic collection I once had, Ray, because over the years, of course, usually, in the business, you end up selling lots here and there. I got a bunch of them. I got quite a few. I just haven't really counted them in a long time. I don't really add very many to the collection very often. I don't know if I could even put a speculative number on that, to be honest. Nothing like Gary has, for example. Gary and I were talking about that. He's got a fantastic collection, but he also adds to it. I don't add to mine that much. I sold my most prized collection back in the 90s that I loved the most, my Fantastic Four run, which was considerable. I didn't have every one, but I actually had a horrible copy of number 1, and I had a couple of very early issues. I had a 4. I think I had a 2, and I had a 5 and a 9, and then there was like a few gaps between like 20 something and 80 something, but then after that, a big solid run, and now I have none. And so I can't give you a good number, I'm afraid, Ray. Not like it used to be. Not like it used to be, and probably not nowhere near like Mark D with a C there, who's got a sick number. I mean, his collection could, you could build a dome stadium over it. Of course, UFO, B5, Thunderbird, Space Doctor, and Doctor Who. I love you, Fiona. Well done. We're going to do some more. Of course, I did a few months ago, was Fiona, I did a show about Blake 7 where I did a special where I ranked every episode. In all 52 episodes in order. That's how pathetic I am, how much of a Blake 7 fanatic I am. I'm unhealthy in love with Blake 7. I love it. So here, anyway, these are the latest. I also like Babylon 5, but I love Blake 7 the most. Did I say B5? No. I meant Blake 7. Blake 7 is my favorite. I do like B5, but I couldn't rank the episodes, but I ranked Blake 7 episodes. And the thing is, I've had so much fun doing that, I want to go do it again. I know it's ridiculous. So anyway, I'm having a lot of fun rereading these because why read any new drivel? And pretty soon, what the flack? What the hell happened? My rankings got screwed around with. Avon and Spock. That is illogical. Your logic doesn't concern me, Falcon. I shall shoot your ears off. Like the Prisoner can hear you, Club. Hey, I love The Prisoner. The Prisoner's the greatest show ever made, but my heart loves Star Trek the original series and Blake 7 just a little bit more. Then I'll be doing this pretty soon. This is going to happen. I'm going to make this happen before the end of the summer. As you all know, August is Jack Kirby month here on Clobberin Times. We are now toward the end of May, so I've got, 2 months to go before Jack Kirby month returns. That's quick, isn't it? Feels like just yesterday. Before Jack Kirby month, I will have 2 things that I'm promising. My top 25 all-time favorite comic stories. And then after Jack Kirby month, I promise there'll be another edition of the Clobberin Times Mark C. Comics Artist Hall of Fame. Not Comics Creators Hall of Fame. which I've already done, I believe, 3, right? Or 2. I've done 2 or 3. I've not done one in a while. We got to do one this year because we've done, after we did a couple the past couple of years, now we're caught up that we can do one a year. Now I can't remember whether I've done 2 or 3. That's how ridiculous I am. Orak would easily take over. How? Come on. That's a no contest. Orak, is from the 1,000 years in the future and controls computers. Hal wouldn't have a chance. Ray says, let's go. You should do a contest to see if we can guess them 25 Clobby. Well, by this, you can guess a few of them. I have the top 10's pretty solid. Even though I may tweak it a bit. B5 is magnificent, says Fiona. But many things would never have existed without Blake 7 and UK Golden Age Sci-Fi. I even love Sapphire and Steel. Want to be Joanna Lumley when I grow up. Oh, I love Joanna Lumley. Yeah. Saintly. I'm a victim of circumcision. So, yeah. I'm going to make this happen. I'm promising my promising ass off. How many? Dang it. HB or somebody help me. How many Hall of Fames did I do? Did I do 2 or 3? Good Lord. I think I did 2. Oh, I may have done 3. Can't remember. Kitty Chow, roll that tide, buddy. What's up? Yes, sir. Welcome to Wild Card Wednesday night. Well, shite. I can't remember how many I did. But I did some. But I did either 2 or 3. And this year, the 2 things that will get done before this ends this year. Actually, 3 things. I'm going to make 3 promises for no reason, just because it's a wild card night. This will get done before Kirby month. Before the year ends, I will do another Hall of Fame. Hey, Pop Culture Republic, thanks for popping in, my friend. Appreciate you being here. No, it won't be nothing but Kirby Gwag. Remember, this is stories. Naturally, it's accompanied by art, but this is about the stories. It could be, for example, even a story that doesn't have the greatest art, which is the case sometimes. Because we've already done like greatest artists and that kind of stuff. And that's different. But as far as the whole, there have been comics, I'm sure you've all experienced this. You picked up a comic where it had a brilliant story, but the art was kind of, it was just enough where you didn't hate it. You're like, the story's good. The art may not be as good as the story. The story's so good. What the hell? It helps when the art's fantastic. A lot of these, it just so happens that are going to be ones where the art definitely complemented it, but not always. There will be some on the list probably that I think about it, where the art may not have been as up to the level of the story, but the story was just too good. We'll see. But this is about the stories in this case, the writing. Because the comic book artists, rightly so, get all the attention when it comes to this medium. Nevertheless, we're going to give the writers some love. And sometimes the writers and the artists are the same person. There'll be some Alan Moore there. Even some Frank Miller. Even some Grant Morrison, believe it or not. Yes, Gwagnar, I count the Great Darkness Saga as one story. And that, you just hit on my my other third pledge. I've been pledging it for years. This one's still iffy, but if I can talk him into it, the great Lord Thoth, who was here earlier, and I will make it, we will get together for our review of the Great Darkness Saga. Been planning that for so long, in addition to, of course, reviewing Legion appearances with J-Man and Sean on his channel over here. And Lord Thoth did join us for a review. I got to get more reviews done too. I'm even planning more and more review of comics, and I've been dropping the ball. You know what? I'm going to find a comic to review Monday night, and if I have to, I'll review it by myself. Know what I mean? Know what I mean? Yeah. So, yeah, this is going to happen. This is not easy, man. It's scary. It's scaring me. Brrr. Scaring the crap out of me. But what can you do? So, yeah. Oh, there's Fanty. Dude. Wait a minute. Hey, just step on them horses, little boy. 149 and 164 says the guy. Hey, I thought it was just 164. What's this 149 business? By the way, didn't I do 149 already? Wait a minute. If you go by the DC hardcover, the Great Darkness Saga is Legion. Yeah, and then I'll definitely look. I'll get it all when we do it. Gwag, I'll cover it all. I promise. And Mark D, if you're not busy, if you feel like popping in, be my guest, bro. But it's up to you. I feel. I'm trying to think here. Fanty, what is it with 149? Did you mention? I thought it was just 164, man. What are you pulling here? What do you think you're up to? 149. Oh, okay. Jerry Siegel's Jeff the Superman. Okay, all right. Yeah, because I did read part of 164. All right. It won't be this. It won't be this Monday. Because I'm going to pick 2 random secret comic reviews that I myself will do. If nobody else wants to join me, it's fine. In fact, one of them may be that one. I don't know. Fanty, if you want to review those with me one night, you're welcome to come on and do it, but it's up to you. I know you don't like to come on the air, but I'd review it with you. Get a heartbeat, Daddy-O. The Hound of the Baskerville Starenko issue of Nick Fury, eh? Did you offered to review that yanks ago? I must have missed it if I of course, with my memory, dude, you know how that goes. No headphones, huh? A likely story. That's okay, dude. So you want me to review it without you? I will. But I'll do it in your honor, sir. I'll do it in your honor. Yeah, sure. Hey, Fanty, you got it. All right, man. I'll do it. But I'm not sure. It's gotta strike my fancy. Whatever I review next week. It's gotta be something just, and I'm gonna pick something. In fact, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick it random like that day before the stream and just review it cold when it comes out. So we're gonna review a comic that I just read out of the blue. It will be bronze, I gotta tell you now. Or I guess I could put a poll up there. Huh. What about this? Let me. I'm gonna have to do some vamping here, but what if I make a poll and give some choices and let you guys, when I get a chance, I will come over there and I'll type some. let you guys choose. Warrior of Justice, hey there. I'm good. Good to see you, my friend. Have you ever read, says Guagnar, Charlie's War by Pat Mills and Joe Colquhoun? I think I've seen pictures of it, but I have not. I know who Pat Mills is, but I've not, sir. You like that one? I've read some Pat Mills stuff for sure. He's crazy. He's a crazy bastard. He did the martial law. But I've not read Charlie's War. I know of it, I think, but no. You're a big fan of that one? All right, Maddie's daddy. Good to see you, buddy. Charlie's War. Got it. I mean, I've read some Mills. He's quite the cat. I love his nemesis, the Warlock. That is Pat Mills, right? Mills and O'Neill. Have you read his nemesis, Guagnar? Have you read any of his 2000 AD stuff? He's something. Martial law is some sickness. Martial law is one of those things that I am absolutely ashamed of myself for reading it. Oh, you have? Oh, you know. Okay, I got you. Fiona says, that's why I love doing Tales of Tomorrow. I wasn't familiar with that show. It was cool to see very early sci-fi Twilight Zone like television. It is. I'm about to start watching some of those my damn self. I got to get the episodes down. Warrior Justice says, have you read Invincible? Yes. I am a huge fan of the Invincible comic. I read it for about the first 60-something issues, back when it first came out, way back when a buddy of mine got me into it in the early 2000s. And this is already when they were about maybe, my great friend, shout out to the great Ace Cast Iron. I don't know, maybe like 5 or 6 of the trades had already been out. And so he told me about those. I got them, enjoyed it, of course, and started reading it, the regular staplebacks after that, collecting it for years. I think I may have finally dumped out in the issue, like, I don't know, issue 70 or whatever it was. I don't know. But I read it for a long time. I enjoyed the TV show, but it's brutal. I'm looking forward to it coming back, but it's rough. Whew, good Lord. Fiona says, The Prisoner is amazing. It really freaked me out when I was little, though. It still gives me chills. I love The Prisoner. Read Martial Law, the comics we wish we hadn't read. Yeah, it's just disturbing. Oh, so okay, I hear you. Yep. Nemesis, yeah. I love Nemesis. That was Credo. But that was a weird comic, man. Well, it was Pat Mills and it was 2080. Of course, it was weird. Back then, when I got huge into Judge Dredd, and I've talked about this before, in the early 80s. Joe Dog says, have you read the Son of Satan comics? I've read a few. I've read a few of the Bronze Age ones, yes. Are you a fan of that one? A fan of that one, are you? J.D. Lewis says, love Pat Mills' Doctor Who work, and John Wagner and Dave Gibbons. Oh, yep. Cool. I think Gary has a Son of Satan shirt. That's badass. So after I got huge into Judge Dredd in the early 80s, I started getting huge into 2000 AD. So when I was buying those Judge Dredd Titan albums, but I also bought the Nemesis. I bought all of them: Robo Hunter, Rogue Trooper, Nemesis. Slain was later. I wasn't too big on the Slain. A lot of people liked it though. ABC Warriors, Alan Moore's The Ballad of Halo Jones, which was brilliant. They managed to make that ball terrifying, though. That big rubber balloon there, they did. Rover. So I'm trying to think. This is as good a place as any place for me to pick what I can review Monday night. Let me work on that for a minute here. Warrior of Justice, what is your favorite comic book villain ever? Clobberin. Mine is Mr. Freeze and Darkseid. Well, I love them both. Those are good ones. My favorite of all time is Dr. Doom. Dr. Victor Von Doom is my favorite. I'm an FF guy, you know. There was a time when I would have said the Joker because he's such an extraordinary, brilliant idea of the villain. He's a chaos. And I still will go say he's a great villain. He's a great villain because we know he's been ruined. But Joe Dog says my favorite villain is the Shocker. Well, I like Shocker. Shocker's cool. My boy Nick really likes the Shocker. Fiona, listen, look at you. She says Patrick McGowan is yummy. Is he? I have to take your word for it on that one. Oh dear, oh dear. You talked about Reptilicus last night. What do you think of Gamera, Guardian of the Universe movies? Is that one of those later 90s Gamera movies? D. Bud Martin. That is true. Nick prefers the Condor or Fancy Dan. That's true. Oh, shite. Yeah, the Condor and Blue Diamond. Here's my favorite villain right here.
Uh-oh. Is it Stiltman?
You see? Yeah, Stiltman is my favorite.
Hey, everyone.
No, Mark's favorite is Paste Pot Pete.
Paste Pot Pete? Yeah.
What's going on,
can't get stuck liking him, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, just hanging out at a meeting tonight, so I got home late, but glad to be here.
Adult stuff.
Adult stuff.
Adulty
political
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, local politics, local political meeting, which we won't get into, but just, fun stuff. Yep. Always good.
Indeed.
Yeah. They want to build a new school, and the cost estimate came in like $35 million more than budgeted. So fun stuff, but yeah. So what's a little $35 million among friends, right?
Nothing to it. I'll take a little. Mark D with a C is Clobby's favorite villain. He is my favorite villain. He's called
enabler.
He's called the
enabler.
Engineer.
Yeah. I love to mess things up for people. Yeah.
I enabled Gary the other night, so it could happen to anybody.
Yeah.
If Gary can be enabled, anybody can.
He didn't know about the Sterenko issues at all? Or,
no, I guess not.
Yeah, you did a great job there. Yeah.
I can.
That's fantastic art on those issues. Yeah.
Oh, Sterenko, great stuff. Yeah. He'll probably find it too. And he didn't. I love that he doesn't want to go online for it. He's going to go find it somewhere.
So we should clarify for people. Yeah, that was the Outland movie with Sean Connery. It's basically like High Noon in Space, if drastically oversimplify it. And Sterenko did a adaptation in Heavy Metal magazine over like 6 or 8 issues.
Right, but this was an album that compiled.
And then they released it in an album, right? Yep.
Yep.
So.
Yep. So, anyway, so I was trying to think. You and I were gonna. Man, I've so dropped the ball. I plan to do a review of comic. I mean, I'll review them over there with the boys sometimes over Nick's channel. Yeah. But I plan to review a freaking comic at least once or twice a month. Now I'm reviewing them on J Man's channel, and he and I are doing the Bob Haney stuff. But that's not. I need to do another one, at least one other a month. And you and I were gonna once do. Remember how ridiculous, how crazy Marvel 201 #1 was? We got to do that one soon.
Yep.
Great art. Wasn't that a two-parter, though?
I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah. So that would be one, but I'm going to think of a random one for Monday night to do. And no, it's not going to be Superman 149 or 164 Fanty, but I'm going to do those. I swear on Superman's grave.
There you go.
Yeah. I swear on a stack of Watchmen. We used to say that.
Don't want to lose those, yeah.
Yes, sir. Do a Valiant comic. Not a bad idea, Bushpan down, but I'm gonna stay silver. I'm gonna stay bronze compliant though. It's gonna be I'm gonna go really wacky random with it. I think I have an idea what I'm gonna do. Remember when we review these, we show you everything that happened in the comic, but that's okay. You know, they've been around for 40,000 years, so you know. Hope you don't mind that. It's still fun to watch.
Yeah.
You know, it's real fun. But we're doing that with Sean and J Man and I are doing. I mean, these we're started. We started. You know, we're not starting in 1958. We're reviewing all the Legion of superheroes.
You got a way to go.
And we're not even up to the Legion stories yet. And what I mean is, it's their appearances, and this is the 6th episode. We've done 2 to 3 episodes of issues, and they've been crossing over into other comics. It's not even about them yet. It's always about Superman or Superboy or Supergirl doing something and meeting them here and there. And Jerry Siegel's rooting a few of them, a couple other writers, and some of them are damn silly to the point of, not Bob Haney outrageously ridiculous, but pretty nuts. And we have a little fun with them. We don't want anyone to think we're being mean, Because I've had people, there are people who think you're being mean when you go after Bob Haney. I'm like, man, look, it's his fault, not me. People have been making fun of Bob Haney forever. My guess, Clobby's leading towards first appearance of Terror Man in action. I don't know, man. That may not be a bad idea. Did Mark D with a C hear the rumor they are going to do a reboot of Highlander? How there can only be one false advertising lawsuit's coming about. Well, what do you think? Yeah, I'm sure you've seen that. Right?
I've heard that.
Yeah, they always Henry Cavill.
Yeah. I mean as much as right? I think they're doing it now. Yeah. I'll check, but it's such a waste of time and money, though. I mean, that first Highlander movie is one of the most perfect movies. You got that Queen soundtrack, which is immortal, pardon the pun. I mean, the first time I heard that, I couldn't believe how good it was. I'm like, they wrote these songs for a movie. It fits the movie so perfectly. And you got the Kurgan, who's just the Happy Halloween, ladies, that great villain. That's he's just larger than life. It's better to burn out than to fade away. And you got, of course, Sean Connery, who's fantastic, that great mentor to the Highlander. So it's got everything. It's got it's got tragedy, it's got romance in it, but it's well done, and it's tragic in a lot of ways. So, and we heard there was going to be a Highlander 2, which does not exist. Like, there's one movie that didn't lend itself to a sequel. The TV show I thought was pretty good, but then again, it's kind of crippled by knowing where knowing where it's going to end. And Adrian Paul was decent, but I don't know. Just come up with something new, guys, please. I mean, and don't
They're not
give us
capable of it. It's so wasted. Hello, Polynese Minion and Pepperoni.
Hell,
hope you're doing well, Polynese. And there's Dadman popping in.
Hey,
Dadman, you guys getting any rest?
He's on the road. He was streaming from the road. I saw.
Did you get our message?
I did not. I've been out all day, and then what happened?
What's that?
When I had to go to my meeting, the a garbage truck pulled the cable out of our building at work today, so they ripped our internet out today. So I was at work without internet. So,
well, that was not good. If you want to mute, you can go hear it in the WhatsApp.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You would definitely want to mute if you play.
Okay.
If you want to go for a second, you should hear it, since he would probably get a kick out of you hearing the message.
It's in the Clobberin chats.
Yes.
Okay.
Go for it.
I'll mute. I'll mute. Well, yeah. Go carry on. I'll carry on, but I got to mute the conversation so I can listen to this. Then. Yeah.
Okay, doke. Wagner. Let's see here. Gold Key, Magnus Robot Fighter. That's kind of yeah. I love those now. Tiny Titans. Come on now, Fiona. Oh, shoot. I can see Kubrick pulling inspiration from The Prisoner. He did. Yeah. It came out right when the film was starting production. Yeah. It did. It did indeed. Let's see. What did he start? Oh, he started something. Fiona said, there's a Canadian animated film that is credited with being Kubrick's inspiration for 2001. He saw it at the 1964 World's Fair, then called up Arthur C. Clarke for some stories. So he really pulls from many. Wow. Did I star that or did you? Can't remember. Anyway, did you get
Dad man, you didn't have sea bugs for dinner tonight, did you, Dad
He
man?
did.
We did. Is that my fault?
I don't know. I'm not sure what did you have again? They had some kind of seafoody crap. I didn't even pay attention. He had some red beans too, because we're in Louisiana. They had to, he had to
Oh,
have
seafood
some.
is world famous there, man.
We
God.
went to a cool place called Walk-Ons. I thought they would enjoy. I hope they enjoyed it. Man, my burger was incredibly good. And then they made
Good.
me eat something and none of us should eat. It's too decadent for words. And I forgot. It was so dangerous. I'd been there in a couple of years, the place we went to, so I'd forgotten about it until our wonderful Mrs. Dadman had looked at the menu and found it. And I had no choice but to order it. You're not even going to believe it exists.
Banana cream pie. No.
No.
Oh, something weird. No, something weird. Okay.
Krispy Kreme donut bread pudding.
Sounds low calorie.
Yeah. Oh, he said he had the blackened fish with tomato salsa and Louisiana street corn.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. That sounds much better than my
Yep.
clam pizza, right? No, just kidding. I did have pizza tonight, actually, at the meeting.
Oh, really? No,
Pepperoni, just pepperoni.
No clam pizza.
A Krispy
By the way,
Kreme bread pudding. Wow. We've turned
Gary
this
said
into
even
Food
he
Network
wouldn't
now.
eat clam pizza. By the way, Gary said he wouldn't eat clam pizza, but he's like
Yeah.
me. He doesn't like seafood. He said
Yeah.
Mrs. had shrimp and grits.
Well, that's good too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that one. Yeah.
I just had a really great double cheeseburger with double bacon. It's called a double bacon cheeseburger. It's just monstrous.
Cheeseburger.
Good. See, Walk-Ons is actually partially owned by Drew Brees. It's like a sports themed, restaurant that's really nice.
Yeah. No
Yeah, boy,
oysters
was
were
it
had
good.
though either, right? No oysters.
I
right?
hope not. I didn't see any.
No crawfish.
But it was great meeting you folks and a lot of fun. I'm so glad you passed
That's
through.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah.
That's
great.
So, what comic should I review Monday night? Let's see here. While you're here helping me out, I will go make a poll of
Okay.
for everybody.
So type
What's I have
away.
here.
Yep.
I will be. I will. Is
it gonna be DC or
type?
Okay, but DC or Marvel?
gonna
You're
mute.
thinking, or it could be anything.
Okay, let's see here. I'm going to put some choices up here. It's going to be Bronze Age, everybody. So, all right.
You're talking a single issue, right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's one. Of these, which of these comic titles should I review an issue of? You can make a guess too if you want. I might listen.
Okay.
What will be some of the ones I could throw out?
From Bronze? You're talking classic Bronze Age.
I'm a 2 DC and 2 Marvel. You only get 4 choices. Yeah. So should I? Oops. My horrible typist. I review. And I'll let them vote, and then I might even listen to them.
Let's see here.
And issue. I'm gonna make some obscure ones here. I'm gonna make an obscure one here. Okay, let's make an obscure one. Alrighty. Okay, and we'll give you 4 fairly off the wall choices here. And it'll be a random issue. Because that's how we roll up and Not like really obscure, But this is okay. We're gonna make comics that are in the 70s. I'm gonna make it that, yeah. Which of these? Let's make it the 70s. You know why? Because I like the 70s. One of our best pals is named 70s. Is that the rate back 7?
Well, I'd say Hulk 217 is one of my favorite Hulk
I'm not
issues.
giving issue numbers. I'm just going to pick
that.
No,
I'll
pick the number.
Okay, I got you. Because
that will be, because I don't have any set up yet. So, let's go with all right. I got 2 Marvels. This is 2 DCs. But sorry, folks, but let me think of a good. Let's see. It'll be a random issue that I will pick. I'm interested to see what will win this. So I want to make it kind of out there. Out there. If you know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying?
Yep.
All right, let's see.
Kind of weird.
Yeah, not too off the ball, but
Yeah.
it could be like it'll be not that it'll be it's just Let's see. Okay, two DCs. Oh, I got you. I got one. Let's see here. Okay. Yeah, all right. This will get me in trouble with Mexican Iron Man, but you won't like this one. But he's not around to get me in trouble. Um, but one more. I need one more. So let's see. No one help me. Sorry, I'm just saying it out loud. I'm trying to think of what quote. And it's something. See, that's why I'm going 70s because you could pick just the 70s didn't have a lot of series hangups, so you could pick like an individual issue and usually be okay.
Yep.
If you know what I'm saying there. So, come on now. I need one more DC when I'm kind of flaking on it. Come on. Hang on, everybody. It's almost ready. Almost ready. You're gonna get the vote.
Thinking,
I'll pick the issue number because I'll have to find. I need one more DC. Throw some DC names out there that aren't too obvious. I don't want too big of a name. Fairly big, but not the big. But they had their own title, or it could be a team book. It's not the biggest. Okay, I got it. No, crap.
Yeah, we don't want like Wonder Twins or something. Yeah.
No. Oh. Okay. All right. All right. Here we go, folks. For better or worse, you might not like these choices. Let me make sure I'm right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Do I keep that one? I'm changing that one. I'm changing one, folks. Sorry. Let's make it weird. All right. All right. Ooh. I just got a better idea. Hang on, everybody. How about we make it team up books? Let's make it team up books. Okay. No. We'll stick it this way. I'll do that next week. Sorry, everybody. I know it's terrible radio, but all right. So here we go. These are kind of up and down, all over the place. Vote if you care to vote. You don't have to vote. It's not illegal not to vote. All right. Does anyone like Jim Starlin? But hey, Fiona, they wouldn't be hanging out with us if they didn't like Jim Starlin. We love Jim Starlin. Just a couple of weeks back on Nick's channel, we reviewed Starlin's entire Warlock run, and not too long in the future, we'll be doing Captain Marvel Starlin run as well. So I went with 70s comics here, so I'll be interested in seeing what they pick. I'll do team ups the next week. I'm gonna do it like I'll give the 4 team up books the next week. So are you there?
I'm here. Yep.
I'm sorry.
I voted.
Did you vote? I don't get a vote, by the way, everybody. So there.
Yeah, you're
Yes,
disenfranchised.
Fiona. Love Jim Starlin, though. I mean, not too long. I might take a look at some review of his Dreadstar book. Oh yeah. Bush Band down. Yeah, he did Silver Surfer later. Yeah. You know what? That would have been one to put Silver Surfer. Oh well. I want to do 2 Marvel and 2 DC.
Yeah, there you go. It's a good mix.
They're weird. The mix isn't great here, but it'll suffice because the next week
get the job done. Yep.
All right, let's see how we're doing. How many votes we got in so far? Only 14 votes so far. Oh my goodness, I'm shocked. I'm not shocked, but 15 votes.
Well, because you haven't done the Defenders yet, so right?
Yeah. Oh no, I haven't. That was one. That's probably one I was going to do anyway. Yes, Fiona. We talked. I went in depth as much as I could, really, on that show where we reviewed Starlin's Warlock on Nick's channel. We did it for 3 weeks in a row. His entire Warlock run. He was just extraordinary, and we broke it down big time. And I believe HB was there with us. I think you were there at HB, were you not? Yeah. See, Phantom Outsider's already cheating. He's saying Defenders 22 to 25, guess Daredevil, Son of Satan, Power Man. Yeah.
Well, that
Okay,
sounds good,
Mike.
yeah.
I guess I could do. Well, yeah, it's 25.
That's 3 issues,
That's
though, right?
4 issues.
Or 4, yep. Math is hard.
You're an engineer. You should be a disgrace.
I didn't have my slide rule out for that one, yeah.
I plan to do Dreadstar eventually, Fiona. I might see if Jason Sandberg wants to do it. He's a fan of Dreadstar. I might see if he wants to do Dreadstar with me after a while. And speaking of course, Jason Sandberg is Comic Book Jupiter on
I back that. Yep.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. Did I put it?
How much time is left on that? Do we have time? Is there still?
I
Still
don't
time
know.
to
I need to
back
check
that, right?
in with him. But there's still time.
I've been
I'm
tweeting out,
gonna put the link in the chat here. If you have not already, please go check out Jason Sandberg's Sandberg, excuse me. Sanborn, listen to me. Comic that is Indiegogo right there. So, yes, sirree. Yeah, Jupiter.
Yeah, the art looks great on that. Yeah.
I'll tell you what I remember when the price came out, Fiona. And at the time, I was freaked out by that cover because it wasn't a Marvel. It was before he brought Dreadstar to Marvel. Let me find that cover because that cover's crazy, man. And I didn't know what the hell I didn't know what it was. I knew who Jim Starlin was, of course. This is the early '80s, but
yeah.
Let me find that cover. It's wow. It was, of course, Dreadstar was a great comic, but at the time I didn't know what the hell that was. And I know you were like that. You read his Silver Surfer, of course.
I love that. Yeah. Almost had that whole run. Missing a few.
This Eclipse album here from Metamorphosis Odyssey. Man, I got this thing when it first came out. All right, good night, Dad, man.
Take care, Dad, man. Safe travels.
Yeah, get some sleep, get some rest, and have a good trip tomorrow. Be careful out there on those roads, especially these crappy roads we've gone up and around here. So
at least you guys don't get snowed on your way, though.
What was weird though? We were standing out in the parking lot talking, and it was. We've had horrible 90 degrees crap of 95, 900 degrees around here lately. It was nice, cool breeze. It was decent. It was like in the 70s, but it was really nice and cool. We're standing out there. I'm thinking, oh man, they brought Florida, nice Florida breeze through here with the Dad Mans.
Nice.
So here you go. The price. Later, of course, Marvel, did a Marvel graphic novel of it. And then for Eclipse, for Epic, yes, Syzygy Darklock. That is exactly right. That's his name. Syzygy, I always had trouble saying his name, Princess. Syzygy Darklock. Syzygy. Oh, man. I always had a problem saying his name. Syzygy Darklock. Syzygy. Damn it, Jim. Why did you just change his name to something easy? Do I have the Batman with the Beatles cover? I don't have the comic. I know the comic you're talking about. I don't own it, no. But yeah, this is a great comic. I mean, I don't even know if you ever heard of Dreadstar. Have you heard of?
Oh yeah, yep.
Good book.
Good stuff. Yep. Read a few of them, not a lot, but and it was pretty popular. But I mean, for it was never, it wasn't, like X-Men popular, but it was. No. But people would talk about it. Yeah, people. There's a lot of huge fans of Starlin out there. So,
are there any
space-based stuff? Yeah.
Oh yeah. Good night, JD Lewis, buddy. Have a good one, man. Thank you for being here.
Take care, JD.
Fiona asks, "Are there any good Huntress books or runs?" There are a couple people like that. A lot of people that like that. The Helena Bertinelli Huntress, which of course is the later one, not the Helena Wayne Huntress that I prefer. That would probably tell you yes. I just never really read any of them, so I don't know. I will say that she does have a trade paperback that reprints all of her early stuff with a great Brian Boland cover. If I can
I
find
just
that
remember
picture.
reading all their stories through, reading all the Batman and Detective comics, and I'm trying to remember what if she had a run that was particularly famous, or because she would go in and out of the Bat books.
Yeah,
And then she had her solo. When was that, in the late '90s when she had her solo issues? Or
she had a solo run right here. This was in the, I believe it was this the early '90s maybe. Joe Staten did the art, so I got to tell you, I was pretty biased. Fiona, if Joe Staten was doing a book, I wouldn't really. And Joey Cavalieri, I didn't really care much for his writing. So some people might have liked this series. It just wasn't really something I cared to buy, so I did not buy it. I admit it. I would actually like to get this trade if I ever saw it cheap somewhere, though. The Huntress Origins.
and then of course you could read some of the Bird of Prey stuff, which is more modern.
This has the old stuff, right? Yeah, this is Helena Wayne right here.
Yeah. But Bird of Prey was a run. God, was that '90s too? I'm trying to remember now. And that was our who was famous for writing that was Gail Simone. Not Gail Simone. Gail, was it Gail Simone or was it Gail?
Gail Simone wrote Birds of Prey. I don't know if she wrote this one here. This Birds. No, Greg Rucka did that one. Apparently. Rucka. Yeah. So
I love Barbara Gordon as Oracle, and she had some great storylines in that. As a team, that was pretty. I mean, oh wow! I actually liked a team full of women, and it was before everything, before all this identity stuff. Yeah. Why was I buying that?
Huh?
I'm just joking. How things have changed in terms of comics. No, you just had the Bird of Prey comic out. No one talked about it in terms of making that big of a deal of being an all all female characters. Just if you liked the comic, you bought it and read it. It wasn't it wasn't like this huge huge spectacle about it. It was just I don't know, it's just interesting how things change. Yeah.
This one, Paul Levitz wrote this one here, inked by a friend of mine, John Dell, who happens to be a pal of mine. So yeah, I don't know. There were a few of them out there. There, John Dell, DC Hunter series. But I gotta tell you, Fiona, I never read any of these because just never really. I love the outfit though. Good God, I love the costume. I guess I didn't really want to read the Helena Bertinelli character. That's beautiful art by Brian Boland, though, isn't it? Wow. Oh yeah, Huntress in the Question, yes, and of course they were great on the man with Jeffrey Combs doing the voice of the Question on the Justice League cartoon with the Huntress in the Question. Oh my God, yes, HB. I'm Joe Staten. I don't know, man. Yeah, that's true. Chuck Dixon wrote Birds of Prey before her, by the way. You like Staten? HB likes Staten. Well, I mean, look, on E-Man, maybe, but my God, Joe Staten, unless he had Bob Layton inking him on All-Star Comics or whatever it was, he was. Oh, I hated him on Green Lantern. I hated him on Legion. Oh my God, I hated Joe Staten. Nicest guy in the world. Oh, Justice League Unlimited. She was fantastic. Did you watch those episodes with Huntress?
I probably saw a few of them. Yeah,
She
back
was
in the day.
Bertinelli.
Yeah,
She wasn't Helena Wayne, but still, you know.
yeah. No, I read a lot of those Birds of Prey comics back in the day. I'm looking at some of the covers. Wow, those wouldn't pass muster today. Wow, I don't think the
On
way
what,
they're drawing.
Huntress?
Yeah, the way they're drawing the Huntress and even Barbara Gordon and of course
Yes, sir.
Black Canary. Yeah.
Wow. I can't even look at some of these. Whoa. Yes, sir. Are you saying there's something to do with the male gaze? I don't know.
Maybe.
I like this outfit better than the one that's too much covering. I don't know. There you go. I like the Helena Wayne one better. I don't know. Hey, 24. What is up, bro? Huntress is now Helena Wayne again for the first time since Crisis on Infinite Earth. No kidding.
Hey, 24.
Wow.
Thank you for that. Wow, interesting.
Dude, wow, man, I did not know that.
Wow.
Yeah, Staten was great on E-Man, yeah. I did not know that. Is that's new or what, buddy?
It's got to be new, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah, I guess that's new. Wowzer. Let's see what the poll's talking about here. We got how many votes we got in now? 21 votes. Okay. So far, Defenders is a whopping at 21 votes, 62%. Yeah. The Incredible Hulk and the Flash tie race at 14%. And poor old Swamp Things at 10%. My God. No love for Swampy.
No.
Dare you. That's all right. It's okay. It's all right. I guess I should probably tell everybody how I would vote if I were allowed to vote, just for the, just full disclosure. Who did you tell me who you voted for or no?
I voted for the Defenders, actually.
I would have voted for the Defenders too. So it's going to be a Defenders. Defenders are going to get it. I think they have a clear run.
There you
He
go.
said, if you aren't reading Jeff John's JSA, you were missing out. I'm about to keep missing out. I've looked at the covers. I can't stand the way they look. Let me pull that out. Let me find some pictures. Let's see here. JSA, DC. See if we can find any. Find any what the new comic looks like.
I might put in 2023 or something to just narrow it down.
I guess so. Yeah. Maybe that'll help. How'd that happen? Okay. Oh, this is it right here? Boy, that looks like dog crap. Is this it?
Well, it looked like Helena Wayne there, I guess. We got Stargirl, Dr. Fate.
Is this the new Golden Age? Is that what you're talking about there, 24? Hey, Common Nerd, what's up, buddy?
Hey, Common Nerd. He votes Swamp Thing twice.
Oh, wow. I'm glad somebody voted for Swampy. I mean, I just want him to get a vote. I know he wasn't going to win, but just want him to get a vote. That's all. Because if he won, I know the issue I'll be reviewing for that. I have that, Oh, I got you. Well, when I was saying team ups, I meant the team up titles. But yes, I understand what you mean there. His mid 2000s JSA run. Yeah, I liked it too. It was pretty good. 24 says, so the Huntress puts together a new team for the JSA formed from villains because Perdegaton is wiping out the JSA and the Huntress is trying to solve what is happening. Cool. Well, you know what? I might take a look at it. 24. If you anything you recommend, I take seriously.
Yeah, if he recommends it, you got to read it, right?
Well, that's my boy 24, man. He knows what he's talking about.
Yep. For sure.
Absolutely. I will tell. long as you don't mind how I do it. In other words, it won't be like it won't. Don't worry, it won't be a reprint, but it won't exactly.
Don't get
be
a trade paperback of that.
It'll be might be an online type deal. If you know where I'm coming from. Now,
DC Unlimited, of course. You're subscribed to DC Unlimited.
Yeah, that's it. All right, 22 votes. Okay. Whoa, somebody cut that one down a little bit. Now a three-way tie between Hulk, Flash, and the Swamp Thing, but Defenders is just smashing. Well, they are a group. They're not only that, the Hulk is in the Defenders as well. So, you think I'll get any more votes on that? Probably.
I get a few more. Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah,
You never know.
see.
We'll hop in. Yep. You don't want to
We'll
shut
give it a
down the
couple
voting
minutes.
too early.
And then we'll choose the issue number. I'll let everybody.
Well, you want to
choose the
see if
issue
you
number.
can break the three-way tie there at least, right?
I'm gonna give it like a few more minutes, and then we'll cut it out because we'll get out of here anyway. We've been here for a long time. But can I stop looking at modern? Look at some real old JSA. Come on, man. I don't like that art. So like modern. Now see, there you go. Look. At least that's the group. Even though it's moderny, it's the group. Even though that's moderny, that's the group.
Yep.
Even though that's moderny, that's the group. You know, I mean, that's what I'm talking about right there with the JLA and JSA. I mean, rather. How about George Perez JSA right there? Know what I mean? Know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fiona says, they don't get it. Girls like looking at sexy women artwork too. Why do they then anime cosplay? Why do they then anime cosplay is so popular? Why do they think anime is exactly? I didn't see many Rose Tico cosplayers at Comic-Con. Plenty of Sailor Moon Faye Valentine though. Yep. Fancy that, huh? Imagine. Oh,
surprise.
Fanny, dude, look, you got to help me pick one, man. 26 or 29 of the Defenders have the OG Guardians of the Galaxy that introduces Starhawk. That is pretty cool. But damn it, Fanty, you're not helping, man. You got to help me pick like at least one or two issue arc or just one standalone issue. Otherwise, if you can, I'm going to have to pick it my damn self, boy. Jesus Christ. Oh, dear. Prodegaton starts in the future during the time of Legion of Superheroes when a new JSA team is formed in the future. And Prodegaton kills them and kills every JSA team, moving his way through time. And HB, the irony is that the actress is pretty. They went out of their way way to make her look like a sack of the actress is beautiful. The little girl, Kelly Lee Tran. Yes, and they made her look horrible.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it when I saw Rose Tico, the costume was so frumpy in that potato sack, and then I saw pictures of her. I'm like, was that the same actress? I mean, she's so gorgeous in real life. I was like, wowzers!
Absolutely.
Well, because she would have outshone and Ray's gorgeous lady too, I think, but she probably was even outshone her. So that's why they put her in that potato sack. Yeah.
Indeed.
Crazy. Yeah.
And Dr. Fate tries to save the team by saving Helen away and tasking her to save the JSA. Well, I hear you, brother. Look, John's, for all of his faults and all the times I want to clobber his face, he can write when he wants to. He's written some great stuff. He's also written some terrible things. But he can write, and of course, he knows these characters. The Justice Society of America. Did they ever do a trade? I wonder if they ever did a trade among. There was a Justice Society series that lasted 9 issues by Mike Parabek, bless his soul. In the early 90s. I loved it. I'm probably going to have to put his name to find it. Let's see. Parabek. There we go. Did you ever see this series?
I do not. Let's see. I don't think so.
Any Justice Society fans here ever see this series? The early, I think Lynn Straczynski wrote it. Mike Parabek did the art. Oh, I knew you'd have him, buddy. I love this run. It was only like maybe 11 issues, 9, 11, something, 9 or 10 or 11. I think it was 11. It was so much fun. And they were, yes, they just come back for a while. They had been put into Valhalla for like whatever, and then they were repeating the time loop forever. Wagner says, Defenders 35, if you want to go. Steve Gerber, weird, with the headband in his. That's interesting. Yep, Steve Gerber is a weirdo. He wrote some fun, crazy comics back then. He was weird, dude. I think he wrote that Marvel 2-in-1 #1 that we were remember we read that recently with like how crazy it was. That's gonna be a fun one to review. So this run here,
was
man,
this out? Was this the
93? I think.
Night? Okay.
And
it was only a 12-issue run.
Kind of a Bruce Timm type look to his style, or vice versa.
It's nice art, yeah.
Yeah, I love this.
Yeah, it looks a little cartoony, but like looks old, but no, yeah, a modern take on an old style.
Fiona says, "I don't care what you review. It'll be fun, and I will learn a lot. Go with your gut, Clobby. Rocky as it may be, and things have organs. Does the thing have organs? He's all rock. He's all cosmic rays and rock. I say." But don't quote me on that. Well, do quote me on that. I just don't know if I can back it up. So that's the wrong one here. There was a great issue where he kicked the crap, where Alan Scott kicks the crap out of Guy Gardner. Oh yeah, there it is. He kicks his ass.
Oh, actually, I have a couple of those books in my collection. I was just checking.
Oh, okay, cool. I think there was.
So it came out August of '92 was the first.
92? Okay.
Yeah, first appearance of Jesse Quick in the issue #1. And that's a very affordable run if you wanted to get it. Yeah.
Yeah. I have them somewhere. But I don't think they ever did a trade on this one, the buttholes.
Oh, there is. Yep.
No, is there?
Let's see. Let me check.
Damn
Oh,
it.
no. Near mint promotional gatefold cover with it's a promotional series preview. Nope.
No,
my bad. Yeah.
Munchers.
I was looking at on the bottom. They always list all the trades in the bottom of the issues, and they didn't have.
Yeah, I need to go back and reread these.
But they're pretty affordable though.
Yeah,
cool. They're all a couple bucks. First issue they're saying is worth $9. So, God, some of the new comics out today are $7. So
yeah, they don't care. No one cares about this anymore. Why would they? This kind of old-fashioned, sweet old, old comics, just for fun. They were just for fun, and nobody cares. I mean, it was $1.25 cover price back then. Yeah, I remember when we thought that was high. Okay, we'll start wrapping up. Let me take a look at we're going to close the poll out up in here. Okay, good place to close it down, I guess, at 27 votes. End poll. Everyone remember the GoFundMe that you see pinned up at the top. If anyone wants to go help our good buddy Tom with Midnight Chase with his poor puppy dog problems that's got on there. We love Tom. Tom's a great too. So, okay. Defenders it is. 55% of the vote for the Defenders. But Swamp Thing, Swampy, I'm proud of you, Swampy. He made a run. Swampy came back and kicked ass and jumped into a respectable 18% in second place.
Not bad.
And then, of course, the Flash, the fastest of them all, is in third place at 14%. And poor old Hulk smashed at 11%. I'm sorry, Hulky. So, sorry. So let's see here. The Defenders. I guess that could be like multiple, like 2 issues. The Defenders, Marvel. There's so many runs. I loved. There was a great run of Defenders. I hate Eric Larson usually, but when he and Kurt Busiek had a run of Defenders in the early 2000s, it was really good. It lasted like 9 issues or whatever it was. Crazy. Yeah. How about this issue? How about number 62 at random? I'm kidding. I don't even know it. It's got an interesting cover. Oop, I didn't put. Oop. I should share it, shouldn't I?
Yep.
Damn
Then
me.
we could see what it is. Yeah.
Thought I was sharing it.
Sharing is caring.
Caring matters. You voted correctly. How many comics does Clobberin own, Fiona? I wish I knew. I don't own the knowledge
How many
of the
long
information.
boxes do you have?
None. I switched to short boxes way back. But it's not a gigantic number these days anymore, Fiona. I mean, I sold a whole bunch of them. It's a considerable amount, I guess, compared to some, but it's nothing. It's nothing really all that organized. I got rid of a bunch of them so I can make space for. I actually love a lot of my comic-based magazines, like my Comics Journals, Comics Marketplace, comic book, Jack Kirby Collector, the Back Issue Magazine, Comic Artist, Alter Ego, all those things. Like the ones of Oh, I love the Giffen fake Kirby issues as well, Hungry Boy, of Defenders. Oh my God, those are great. Pat S says oh man, you voted for Swamp Thing. Well, hey, I appreciate that. I had that issue all ready to go, so I knew which one I was going to do on that one. It's going to take me some time to choose what to do on this one. I hate that when you do a search on Defenders, we got to see all that crap from that stupid TV show. Damn it. And no, I'm not going to do the first one. Look, this was a facsimile. That's some facsimiles out this week, by the way. Iron Man #1. The old one.
I've been buying those. Yep.
Common Nerd with Swamp Thing. Okay, there you go. Thank you, guys. At least Swampy got some love now.
Yep.
Yeah, my Star Logs as well. That's right. A Captain Ultra. Oh, is Captain Ultra in that one? Are you kidding me? Oh, I might have to do that one. Oh. Captain Ultra's in this one? What?
I was just saying, no, the Defenders are really going up in value lately too. It's all my comic book collecting software highlights red for issues that are going up, or I guess people are really going back and collecting these. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, not way up, but some of the earlier issues are surprised. I guess key collectors are go after certain issues or certain appearances. But yeah, I'm seeing that. I mean, most of the Defenders was in dollar bins that whenever I'd go places, I'd always see. And I think it's a great title, but it was never considered like the X-Men.
Right.
It was kind of like the the alternative team, but really great. Especially Valkyrie and that Hellcat. I always loved Hellcat. Yeah, it was great to see those guys, and
of course. Hey, let's see here. What I'll do is I'll review whichever Defenders issue we're going to do, and then a surprise review that I'll reveal. But I said so Captain Ultra's in this one. That gives me an idea, actually. Hercules, Stringway, Falcon. Wow, I can't believe that. Valkyrie made her first member appearance at Defenders #4. There you go. Love Valkyrie, Joe. The Brunhilde Valkyrie, not the stupid ass movie Valkyrie. Ugh. She sucks. Garbaggio, hell, filthy, drivelly, crappy.
Wow, it's not Valkyrie.
Poopy, nutty, filth-infested, maggot-infested, crappy-assing. Her, even though I don't like this costume of Valkyrie that much, her. I like the original costume, though. Let's see if we can find what the original costume. There you go. That Valkyrie baby cakes. Look at that. No, it's not a very clear picture, is it? There it is. Mm-hmm. Kirby cover, by the way. I still need to watch Swamp Thing show. I heard it was good. Says Fiona. There are different opinions on that. I hated that show personally as a Swamp Thing fan. Don't listen to me though. Watch for yourself if you're interested. I never tell people to just because I like or dislike something. I hated it. Some people liked
The
it.
new one you talk the new one you're
I think
talking.
she means
Yeah.
the last one from a couple years ago.
Yeah.
As a Swamp Thing fan, I can't understand how anybody liked it personally. They flirted around with some of Alan Moore's ideas and then just really didn't do anything with them.
2 words, Abby
I
Arcane.
couldn't stand it. All right, Mark. Somebody needs to shin kick Mark. He's being bad. He only likes it. Look, he likes it just because the girl was super hot. I like her. I love her too.
You were watching. We were showing the actress's photo a few weeks ago and trying to come up with reasons. I think the series started off well, and then they truncated by 4 or 5 episodes, but it's got some redeeming qualities to it. But it's not a. Yeah, watch and decide for yourself. I think it's worth watching though. It's not that long. I think it's 8 episodes or 9 episodes. But I think it really falls off at the end when the writers got I don't know, WB decided to Warner's decided to cut the series order way down. So
that sucked. By the way, Joe Dog, I'm with you. I hated Thor Ragnarok too. I retroactively started hating it because of all the stupid crap in it. It's better than the Man Thing movie. Look, Wagner. I mean, yeah, jumping out of a freaking airplane without a parachute's better than the Man Thing movie. So, I mean, at least you have some fun.
Captain America doesn't need a parachute.
Well, yeah. Neither does Wagner, right? All right, HB. Later, Gator. You going, bro? Later, Gator. So, anyway, I'll figure out what issue we do. And we will get it done. And
we got 147 to pick from, I guess, right?
Yeah, no, just 70s.
49? Oh, 49. Oh, you're just doing the 70s,
right? 70s. It'll be a 70s comic. But there you go. So, I guess that's all we got for you tonight, folks. Just a little wild card Wednesday, just us hanging out, doing nothing in particular, but always fun. I want to thank everybody. Everyone who joined us tonight. Of course, obviously, thank the great Gary Binkler for being here on Monday night. For Neurotic, great feller. And thank J-Man for having me the other night reviewing Legion Comics. It was a lot of fun. And thank you, everyone who was here at the member stream last night. You were all amazing. Great fun. Let's see. Please go out, check out Mr. Jason Sandberg's Jupiter Comic on his Indiegogo.
4 days left for that, folks. Yep.
Is it 4?
4 days, yes. So if you're on the fence, don't wait.
Yes. Please go check that out. See if you're interested in that. I think you might be. It's very cool. Let's see what else. Where we at? Where are we? Okay. Show notes. And first, before I do show notes, anything to announce, Mr. Chief Engineer Mark D?
Sure. Yeah, thank you. Of course, we're going to do the clubhouse tomorrow. You're going to talk about that, but we'll be having another watch along party for UFO. I think we're up to episode 13, and also
the name of it.
Let me.
That's all right.
Let me check. Yeah. No, I'll check. Yep. And also we've got Tales of Tomorrow.
I need those episodes too, by the way.
Yeah. So we're doing. I just had that up in my. Where did my Tales of Tomorrow go? Oh, Golden Ingot, I think, is one of them, and the other one is. And these are, if you Google them, you can watch them for free. We should use that community tab to post what we're gonna.
We should
watch, I guess. So point. Yeah, that would make be good use of that. Red Dust and the Golden Ingot are the two issues or episodes for tomorrow on Tales of Tomorrow in the clubhouse. Say that 20 times quickly. And then of course we'll be doing Sunday Night Geekery this weekend. Looking forward to that. And I usually try to post a short a day. So who did I? Oh, I did the Fantastic Four, Everyone Against Galactus
Saw that.
cover. Yep, today. So go check that out. I'll put the link in for that. So yeah, so always something going on. So yeah, here's the episodes for Tales of Tomorrow. Put that in. Yeah, maybe we'll do a community post. Yep, and put it in the Discord. I should be using the Discord more. Let's see. That's the episodes. Yep. So here's the
community or the
in the community. Yep. So here's the Clubhouse Discord.
Oh, because I need to write those down somewhere. So
yeah, we should. And thank you for Mr. Angel for setting those up. And
I
usually
put
the
live
live
Twitter
streams
thing
in there.
Appreciate it.
I shall put them on the Twitter.
Yeah, UFO and the Clubhouse thing, if you would.
Yep. I shall do that. Yep.
Thank you, because I don't have them otherwise. That'll give me a chance to check them.
Watch them so we don't get shin kicked tomorrow night.
Yes.
Gotta do our homework.
Yes, indeed. All righty. Well, let's see here, folks. Again, let's see here. Tomorrow night, I'm going to be all over the place. I think I will be at let me check, make sure. At 6 p.m. Excuse me, 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern. I will be on the WDW Pro channel on that live stream with the great WDW Pro and Mr. Jonas J. Campbell. And I'm looking forward to that. And then right after that, I'll be on with Tom's Midnight's Edge in the Gang. Also looking forward to that. And then, of course, this Clobby's Clubhouse tomorrow night. That Clubhouse is in session tomorrow night. And then Friday night, the great Nick Weiser's channel, the Comic Shop Gang. Nick and the Gang, looking forward to that. That's going to be fantastic. Love those guys over there. I'm not sure what we do. I think we got one more episode before they get to his big 100th episode. So I guess we're going to be just open comics. I'm not sure exactly what. But then Saturday night, we will have some Saturday night Star Trek. Which will be great. And we've got 4 more episodes starting season 7 of Star Trek Deep Space Nine with my wonderful first officer, the extraordinary Commander R.M. Briggs. I love you. And then, of course, Sunday night, I'll be over there with Mark of the Geekery. And then Monday night, I will be with the great J-Man and Sean reviewing 3 more issues of Legion of Superheroes appearances for their chronology throughout the Silver and Bronze Age. So looking forward to that on J-Man's channel. That will be 6 Central, 7 Eastern. And then, of course, Monday night, I'll have a review. We'll review a comic and just hang out and talk and geek about comics. So thank you all so much. You've all been fantastic. I want to just shout out the Wrenches really quickly. I think he had the run, but the great Vindicator Rich of the North. Thank you, Chris Persia. Of course, big shout out to the Bronze Wrencher, Eric K. We love you, man. Hope you're feeling better, buddy. If you happen to be hearing this, even if he isn't, big shout out and vibes to him. We hope he gets better. He's the man. And the great D. Bud Martin, the Wrench of Iron, the great Lord Thoth and Lady Thoth. Avon lives long. The Legion, the J-Man, partner in crime on Earth B, and of course Legion Reviewer Extraordinaire, Hungry Boy Master of the Club Boney, Stephen Cal L, Super Wrench Supreme, Maddie's Daddy, and Fanty Outsidey, and the Moan Limerick Master, Music Meister, Max Redstone. And shout out to the Pupper Dog, because I know Paul was here earlier. And shout out to you all. I appreciate it. We'll definitely shout you all out again. Thank you so much. Princess Fiona, so lovely to have you here. Abigor, thank you so much. Donnie Pearson, good to see you. Brian Hepburn, Guagnar, Joe Dog, Bushpen Down, Pat S. I think that's most people. 24, my buddy popped in. Yeah, all right, man. Common Nerd, thank you. Let's Let's see who else. J. Day Lewis, who had to leave. I believe the great Dad Man of the Dad Man clan. You guys be careful out there. It was great meeting you today. Let's see here. I think we got most people. Captain James C. Skywalker was here. See, never fails. I always mess it up. Don't I?
Yeah, it's always stuff. Yep.
Yeah, way it goes, dude.
Yep.
Let's just be sure here. Okay, now I'm going to go way, way out on a limb and say to you with confidence, assured confidence, that I have just announced Warrior of Justice. Hey there. And now that I have gotten everyone, I've got them all. There will not be another one that I have not got already. I'm that confident that I can. Keely Chow, except for Keely Chow and Pop Culture Republic, of course. I mean, it goes without saying that I missed them on purpose, so I could go back and backtrack it on purpose, just like Ray DeRazzo, another one that I knew was here all along, that I had to pretend like I didn't know, to pretend like I made a mistake. People well know I didn't, and I knew he was here, and that was it. There's nobody else, though. There's no one else I missed.
We have a 13th level intellect, right? So
14th.
14th?
And, yes. And therefore, I've missed no one else. In fact, I had to pretend to miss those just to make people feel better, because I'm so great. My memory is the greatest memory of all time. Is that what's that? Is that the right word? Time. So my memory is so good that there's nobody else I've forgotten. You can't convince me otherwise. They're all taken care of, no matter how far back I go in this chat. There's not going to be anyone that I have not said hello to already, and have not called out already. It's just impossible.
Inconceivable.
Scott Knudsen. There you go. Except for Scott. Of course, it goes without saying, because Scott gave us a really nice super chat. And so I wanted to single Scott out. So, yeah, of course, without saying it, Scott. Of course, yes. And Abigor, right? I said Abigor, right? So there you go. Yes, 15 level now, really. You don't want to brag or anything. But there's no one else. From now on, smooth sailing. I've got everybody. I'm just going to go back just a courtesy, like a formality, even though we all know I haven't missed anybody. Just doesn't happen. It's not even physically remotely possible that I missed anybody. Once I get back all the way back, you're going to see how wrong you were about me missing anybody. That everybody I've got now is totally 100%. I've called them all out. There's nobody left. Nada, zip, zilch, zero, finito, and other stuff. Oh. That I mean, just as nobody.
Claude wasn't here tonight, right?
No, he wasn't.
No, he did post a picture of his Funko Pop Etrigan the Demon, and Hungry Boy he responded with the puke emoji. I think, come on, Etrigan looks pretty cute as a Funko Pop.
I like Etrigan. Yeah. Oh no, he did that. Well, see, as you were saying that, I didn't. I except for could not be reached for further comment, which I missed, which I forgot on purpose so I could make that claim. I haven't missed anybody. So, and I got everybody this one except for Dr. Herky Monkey, but that was last night when he joined. First time in years he's even been here, and he joined us. So.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Nice.
So anyway, yeah. All right, everybody. Lisa popped in. So you cheated. Now,
hey, Lisa,
Sean, yeah. Sean MNT. Hey, Sean, you weren't going to tell me about them, were you? Lisa, lovely Lisa, good to see you. All right, everybody. Well, I want to thank you all for being here with us tonight. You've been fantastic, and we got what?
Oh, it was Sean here before. Sean Estep.
No, Sean Estep. Hello there.
He was maybe lurking or just hopped in. So hail to Sean.
Hail to Sean. Good to see you. Thank you. Now we're out of here, folks. Have a wonderful remainder of your week and evening and all that stuff. Good night, everybody.
It's clobbering time! Clobberin. I just love clobbering time.